Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and I'm so excited to welcome to the show Malina Moye. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me this morning.
An actress, a musician, a philanthropist. You have so many hats, I want to celebrate them all.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you and your journey as an artist.
Okay. In a nutshell, I'll say it like this. I was very intrigued by what you guys were talking about earlier because this is something I absolutely identify with. For myself, focus, I think, is a very important piece of my life. Absolutely. But I came to Los Angeles a few years ago. I was homeless. I came here with $20. I lived on the street. I used to wash up in gas stations, and literally I'd park my car and I'd sleep in between the front and the back of the seat, and I'd have a knife and a Bible. And I just remember, I just kept thinking, man, you know, God, if you want something to happen, you got to turn this around. Yeah. So for me, two things happened when this took place. Living this way, it allowed me to really depend on God, and it also allowed me to really develop my instincts. And it made me to really rely on the things that I couldn't see. My faith just grew so much stronger because one by one, things started to turn around. So from starting that way, literally coming here $20 and just really trying to make it work, which I wouldn't advise anybody to ever do. So someone just don't come to LA with $20, please.
The hard way.
That's the hard way, right? And a dream, right? So no, literally, after all this happened, a guy heard about my story, and he ended up investing in my label. So from then on, I ended up raising capital. One thing led to another. We started my label, WCE Records. The reason I started the label is because, once again, when you're different, you know, sometimes you're going to have to create your own lanes. These things don't exist. So,
congratulations.
Absolutely.
Creating your own lane.
Thank you.
From $20 into drinks.
Amen.
From the car
when
to
you put
raising
it that way,
capital.
oh my God, no, that's real. Amen. And yeah, and like you said, focus. That is one thing that, because you're right, there's so many hats that you have to wear. There's so many compartments that we, as humans, that we have to compartmentalize to just handle certain things day to day. But I love it. I love to play. I love to sing. So for me, whether I was making any money or not, I always wanted to do what I'm doing right now. But like you're saying, you'd never in a million years. I think it really hit me when I actually was sitting on top of, when I was at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, and I had just honored the Queen of England. And I remember going, oh my God, this is crazy. Because I remember I hit the last note, and I looked over and up above, and there was the royal flyover, and on the last note, and I remember going, what is my life? This is insane. I had to, like, you know what I mean? Because then you really start to go, this is crazy. So but what I like to look at them sometimes too is little things that I like to say that the universe or God leaves these amazing nuggets that allow you to keep going and allow you to realize that you are doing the right thing. And then, so there's all these great moments that happen in my life that, I mean, I got to tell you, there's no way these things, I just.
What are some of those highlights? I want to hear.
Oh, man, like when I did the national anthem. Yeah. For me, I just wanted to play the song. I was like, man, thanks for thinking of me. This is going to be awesome. So never in a million years do you think you're going to make history. So I was just like playing the song, the national anthem, and I remember I was in the moment, 80,000 people, and when I finally saw the footage when it was done, I never realized that when you get a chance to see it, it was all these fireworks that were going off, and this was the the Minnesota Vikings versus the Dallas Cowboys. So this is the first time that, for myself, I guess, as an African-American left-handed female player, to go and actually play the Star Spangled Banner on electric guitar. So this is an incredible moment, and someone said, you know, I think this is a first. We've never had this before. And the next thing I know, it just propelled from there. And then the outfit that I wore, they ended up putting it on display at the Hard Rock, the Rock and Roll Hall of the Hard Rock, and then they shared this with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So once again, and then just recently, my new album, Bad as I Want to Be. The reason I wrote this record.
It's a great title.
Yeah. You know, I wrote this record, and it's so weird because I'm just rambling on. Yeah. But I wrote this record because somebody made me feel like I didn't matter and I didn't count. And in my mind, I thought, you don't even know the road that where I've been. And I was mad at myself because I allowed that person to take a little piece of my energy. And the thing that was so difficult was because I'm thinking, man, in this business, things are not fair. But how do you look somebody in the eye, someone who's looking up to you, and allow them to think that everything is possible? So that's when I said, you know, this, honestly, again, as an African American woman in rock music, certain avenues, they just aren't here yet. So we are absolutely creating a lane. And for me, people always say, you know, you're the first. And I always say, this is a great thing, but it's not about being the first. It's about really helping other people to get in, because once we all can get in, and there's more women who are doing what they want to do, playing the guitar, and people not having to be judged over certain things and people having certain stigmas, this changes so much for all of us. So I'm like always looking for the Justice League, because in my mind, you're good at what you do, I'm good at what I do, you're good at what you do. Together, collectively, we can change a lot of stuff. And so that's what, for me, that's what I'm trying to do. So with the album, I said to myself, you know what? Here's the thing. Celebrate yourself. Don't look to someone else to tell you or put you on some pedestal. Celebrate everything that makes you who you are. That is what makes you special. There's only one you. And so that's when I said, so I don't forget it. Which, you know, so I don't forget. I said, man, I'm going to do this record, and I title it Bad As I Want to Be, so that I know. And I said, you know what? So for whoever, woman and man, whatever you feel that gives you that extra push, that makes you feel like, man, I can do this, do it. And for me, I was like my red lips. And if you see my album cover, I took a stance of, like a warrior, like me against saying, hey, this is, I'm putting my stake, my foot in the, or how do you say it? I'm staking my claim. I've been here. This is what I do, and you can't erase me.
No.
And I made something happen, and this is it. And to me, I'm somebody. And for me, I always say to people, like my parents always said to me, when you don't see yourself, show up. When you think you can't, show up. And always know that you matter and you count. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, you've done it incredibly. Guitar World says you're one of the best guitarists in the world.
You know, I like those people. But again, like I said, I'm so appreciative. But I think for me, like what you said, it's not about trying to get, I mean, in the beginning, we all like, man, you know, we want to be the best, you want to do this.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. But then at a certain point, you realize, okay, so you are the best at this, but how does that make you feel? Because at the end of the day, there's going to be so many bests. You know what I mean? So what about you?
And then the art changes, and now you've got to compete with a different way in which people are doing things. Right.
So my dad always said to me, do you want the good news or the bad news? And I was like, what's the bad news? And he'd say, Malina, I don't care how much you practice or do anything you do, you're never going to be Michael Jackson or, you know, Mariah Carey or Janet Jackson. And I'm like, okay, what's the good news? Right? Like, how can there be any good news? He's like, Malina, the good news, they're never going to be you.
Whew, I love that.
Yeah, he said, so you go do that. You'll win at that. And that I took to heart, and that I've done with my whole life. And then I think that is when, as we go out and we tour, people would always say to me, man, Malina, when I'm seeing you on stage, I feel like, you know, watching you, I can go and do this. I wanted to be a doctor, but what I really want to do is I wanted to be a writer, but now after watching you on stage, I think I could do it. So then I thought, wow, how can we help people to feel confident to continue to do what they really want to do, because that's how you really become happy. And so that's when my fiance and I started to start Drive Hope. So my foundation is pretty much to help underserved youth and to help them to realize what is attainable, and not just the things that we see, which is, again, the singers, the recording artists, but also the behind the scenes. Everybody matters. Everybody's role is very important. So it's the who, what, when, where, why, and how you became the person that you are. I think that part of our job also, like you were saying earlier, is communication. I think that, yeah, it's so, I just love people, and clearly I love to talk.
We love your story.
Totally. We love it.
No, I mean, so I just love to talk, so it's just like, yeah, I love people, and it's so weird for me just to talk and not ask you that. I'm like, yeah, what about you?
That's the point of the interview, though.
It's all about you. So what's next for you, Malina?
Man, you know what? I think, well, seriously, the movie is out. It's called The Samuel Project, and this is my acting debut. I was super excited. I had a chance to work with the legendary Hal Linden. I was so nervous. I didn't even know who he was at first. Sorry, Mr. Hal. And I went and I looked everything up. I was like, oh my God, I watched all the
Barney. It's almost better if you don't know. That way you go in there with a little less anxiety.
Right? So but then I was still like, okay, you know, because Mr. Hal is, man, he's incredible, but he is just like what we discussed, very focused. Obviously, when a man is 86 years old, this man has lived, seen, done, had it all. So you better come in prepared, and you know what I mean? Definitely keeps you on your toes. So for me, this was just incredible because I always wanted to be on the big screen. And so now with the opportunities that have come around, this is just incredible. And I just feel like I'm not going anywhere. And this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And I am going to give it everything I got. And I'm so excited about it. And this was a great way, I think, for me to also showcase another side of my creativity.
Absolutely.
And the film is in select theaters nationwide. So you can find more information at the SamuelMovieProject.com. Yeah. And then I leave November 7th to head on my European tour, Bad As I Want to Be, and we'll come back in December. And then I'll add one quick thing, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Again, when you make a record, you're thinking that you're making, again, you're giving a piece of who you are. For me, it's when you're using your creativity, it's you. So as you guys know, it is the for us the Grammy. The Grammy members are now making their decisions, and I thought that we were making one type of record, but what was interesting is the Academy felt that we were making another type of record. There you go. So I would say to everyone, please look for Bad As I Want to Be, all my members, voting members, in the pop vocal category, which and we're going against some of your favorite artists who are mine as well, too. Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran and everybody, Christina Aguilera.
You're
so
a good company.
This is a great company. So this is super exciting. And so please take a listen to Bad As I Want to Be. And again, thank you guys.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have any
Thank
more
you.
questions.
Yeah. Well, where can people find you online?
Yes, again, my name. So Malina Moye. You can find me at malinamoye.com, Instagram, Malina Moye. The only one that's not Malina Moye is my Facebook, which is Malina Moye Music. And like I said, anytime you see me in the area, please say hello. And I would always say, continue to support live music because it's important. And
Thank you.
always know that you count and go for it.
Awesome.
Be
Thank
as
you.
bad as you want to be. Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow. Good morning, La La Land.